Hello, everybody. Welcome to our first community call. Thank you guys so much for making the time to come here. And let's first off start off with icebreaker questions. So we're gonna go down the list. Let's talk about where you're from, what are your hobbies, academic goals, what's the most important thing in your life at the moment. So I'm gonna be calling names. don't be don't be too scared. And if you're too scared, then just say skip. It's fine. All right. So where are you from? We'll start with Serve.
Yeah, where I'm from. Okay, so currently I'm living in France,
Mm.
but I was born and I lived my first 18 years of my life in the West Indies, in the Caribbean. Yeah, so this is where I'm from.
Wow. That's wonderful. Did you say West India?
West Indies,
West
in the
Indies.
Caribbean.
In the Caribbeans?
Yes.
Oh, that's super cool. Thank you, Serve. All right. Next, we have Serve. I mean, Tracy.
Huh?
no, my bad. Tracy, where are you from?
We'll leave the tropics and head north. I am from Canada. I was born in Ottawa. Now I live in Michigan.
Oh. That's like the Mitten state, right?
Yep, we're the mittens. I'm at the bottom of the mitten.
Okay. I see. Thank you, Tracy. Next up, we have EJ. EJ, where are you from?
Hey. So yeah, as you know, I'm from Philippines, part of Southeast Asia, and I've been here since birth.
Oh, wow. Thank you, EJ. Ellen?
Hello, I'm in the Sweden. I live here for a while. Actually, in the same apartment too. So
You
yeah,
lived in
so a couple
Singapore and Italy?
of no, in the same apartment. Sorry, I am so good at pronouncing.
No, it's totally
Uh,
fine.
yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you. Laura?
So I'm from Brazil and the countryside of São Paulo. I like call girl.
Hmm. Sao Paulo. Is that the capital place city?
Yeah, but I was like the state of São Paulo.
Uh-huh.
You know, I live in one of the cities,
Okay.
like the country,
I see.
far away, like 4 hours.
Hmm. Welcome. Leah, where are you from? Oh, it's okay. It's okay. We could trace back. Rex?
Hello, hello. Yeah, I am from Sweden, and yeah, that's it. I don't know, like it's all the way in Sweden. It's where it's hard in Sweden, not in Stockholm where Ellen is, where it's super cold. So
Hmm.
this is where I am from. Yes.
Welcome, Rex. Reams?
I live in the Netherlands. I live in a small city called Veenendaal.
Wow. That just sounds mystical. Somehow that sounds mystical. Welcome, Reams. And then last but not least, we have Seth.
This is a really big coincidence, but I live in Canada and I also live in Ottawa, just like how Tracy was, but I still live here. But I'm originally from my nationality is from India.
Oh, that's really cool. Welcome, Seth. All right, let's talk about some hobbies. Serve, what are your hobbies?
I think my hobbies are I actually like learning new stuff, whether it's about the universe or things like that, or learning new languages as well. And I also like reading and gardening.
Mm, great hobbies. Which part of like the universe do you enjoy like pondering about?
Black holes,
Mm,
stars, things
yeah,
like that.
for sure. It makes you ponder. Thank you. Tracy?
I think everyone kind of knows my hobbies. I love sharks. I watch a lot of shark documentaries. I love chocolate. I eat a lot of chocolate. I love BTS, Total Army. And I study sociology, and that kind of sums me up.
I think you forgot the most important. You love talking about suicide, like learning about suicide. Is that correct?
I do love learning about suicide
sorry,
and studying it. Yes.
Yes. All right. EJ, what are your hobbies?
So I love reading. So I've mentioned Harry Potter so many times in the chat because I'm a Potterhead. I know
Mm.
Serve is a Potterhead too, and I also love writing. I've already written 2 books, and mostly I'm just chilling and watching Netflix.
What's your favorite like book? Would it be Harry Potter?
For one, Harry Potter is one, and also I love the series of City of Bones, the one with runes. If you remember, we discussed that through chat. The some runes.
Oh,
Mortal Instruments series, yeah.
I see. Thank you. Ellen, what are your hobbies?
Oh, I think it's hanging out with activities, maybe philosophy, so, discussion. Yeah, a ballroom dancing also. That's probably the things I like.
Badminton?
Oh my god, I think my microphone is so bad.
Yeah, I can't really pick it up.
Sorry.
It's not your fault.
Sorry, no. Ballroom dancing.
Volcrum
It is.
dancing,
Not really, but it's okay.
but something dancing.
Something with dancing. So
Oh, okay. That's cool.
yeah.
Great hobby. Next up, we got Laura. What are your hobbies?
I think everyone knows too, like Harry Potter, I like Naruto também. I like to read mangas, listen to music, sleep too. But study is not my hobby. I don't like study, so yeah.
Likewise. What's your favorite? You said song. Listening to songs. What's your favorite song at the moment? Do you have one or like a genre?
Oh, let me see. Yeah, but it's classical music. I don't know if everyone knows, but it's Sherazade and Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov. I don't know how to say his name, but
Yeah.
yes, it's a classical music.
Classical music.
Yeah.
It's such a vibe for real. Yeah, I have no clue
Yeah.
what you said, but man, I love classical music.
I
Thank you.
understand you. I understand you.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. Leah, is your mic working? Okay, Leah's just chilling. Rex, what are your hobbies?
Well, hobbies. What are those? No, I do indeed have hobbies. I do kind of run a business, so that's I guess my hobby. So work is my hobby. But yeah,
Damn.
other than that, I do also watch anime. So I've recently got into Naruto. So this is what I'm watching at the moment. And yeah, pretty good show. Yeah. Pretty good show so far. Almost done with the first, I don't know, 5 seasons. So how many seasons there are? But yeah. Anyways.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rex. Reams?
I love to go out. I love eating food. I love to spoil my cat with toys every week. I love programming. And being surrounded by people I care about. I want to read books, but it's something I'm really bad at.
Ooh, let's talk about it because I had trouble doing that. I mean, I still do, but man, I really like your first hobby, going out. I wonder how that feels like. I gotta go touch some grass actually after this call. Thank you, Reams. Next up, Seth. What are your hobbies?
My hobbies,
Yeah.
I would say I like to watch anime. I play a lot of games.
What in particular?
I used to play League. I started playing Valorant, but my computer span broke, so I stopped playing games recently. I gotta fix it if I want to play. And I also started reading manga. So I'm trying to read more books, but like manga is just more interesting than
Yeah.
reading.
What manga
plain
are you reading,
text.
if you don't mind?
Ooh, I have a whole list. So my first book, I like Solo Leveling was my first
Oh,
one.
that one's good. That one's good. Yeah.
It is good, and then I branched off into like Weak Hero, Descendants of the Demon Master and stuff. Elected, Tower of God is another really good one.
Ooh, all those titles sounds
But
really
yeah,
attractive.
that's
Does it have like a usually like a hero?
yeah,
Right. Yeah, it all sounds like it has a hero. All right.
yeah.
Let's talk about some academic goals. We're getting real deep. So let's talk about our academic goals. Serve, what are your academic goals? It could be as easy as like, oh, I just want to graduate. I just want to get the semester done with. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm gonna be
Oh,
I'm not gonna say any, no, like judgment, like
um,
doctors and everything. But it could be as simple as that.
yeah, my main goal is definitely to pass my bachelor degrees.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. And afterwards, I want to apply to a master's degree to become an elementary school teacher.
Oh, that's
That's
wonderful.
yeah.
And also write a book, right, Serve?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful
It's
goal.
still in my head for the moment.
That's good. Keep on repeating it. All right, Tracy.
So I'm going to be applying to a different master's program for next year, and then to a PhD program. So I want to get the PhD and then ultimately teach or work in academics.
Wow, Dr. Tracy, ain't it? That's gonna be cool. EJ.
Right now, I'm trying to pursue or pass another licensure exam, and then right after that, I will be enrolling to a master's degree for my profession. So right now, I am an accountant, so I'm planning to pursue master's in business. Yeah.
Wow, it's a wonderful path. Ellen.
So I'm on a gap year right now, but
Mhm.
I'm trying to enter med school. So that's
Oh.
my goal.
And also becoming a doctor, I think in what was it, anthropology, and it started with an A. Oh, cardiology. I was off.
It's the heart. Working with hearts.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's so cool. Thank you, Laura.
I just want to graduate, so
Same.
it's so hard, man. I
Yeah.
don't know, yeah.
Thank you,
But yeah.
Rex.
Yeah, I guess just completing my degree now. So I'm studying master's. So just be done with that. And yeah, I guess that's my goal.
Thanks, Reams.
I also want to complete my bachelor. I'm not gonna do a master, I think, maybe. I'm not sure. And after that, yeah, I think I want to make something. I was like thinking about a lot. It's something I really want to do before I die. So yeah, I will like focus on that after my study.
What's the creation part? I'd love to hear something you want to create. I think you said you enjoyed like coding. I think if I'm assuming you're doing a bachelor in computer science.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you want to create?
So what I'm really interested in is VR. I have a VR myself, so I want to create like a program that is like connected with like some kind of app for people who have mental problems or those kind of people. Like I want to help people who feel lonely. I want to be able to make people feel better with something I make.
Wow, that's truly inspiring. And you don't know how big of a smile I have just listening to that. Like I love talking about VR because it truly feels like a new world, and the experiences you feel. Actually, my brother like has experience with like VR, and truly when I tried it out, I get really bad motion sickness. But I think the technology and the development in that sector, along with like neuroscience combined, oh my gosh, it is just unimaginable what we could achieve. I think as civilization through like VR. So that's a wonderful goal. Thank you. Seth?
My current goals are probably gonna be trying to pass my current class and get into co-op.
Mm,
I don't have any long-term goals right now. I'm
That is
just
all
trying to
good.
pass my classes.
That's an important goal. All right. Last but not least, this is the last icebreaker question. What's the most important thing in your life? Again, this doesn't have to be like super in depth. It could just be as simple as chocolate. Like, that's probably what Tracy's gonna say. All right, Serve.
Definitely my mom.
Hmm.
It's not a thing, it's a person, so I don't know
Yeah.
if that counts
No,
as
it
an
counts.
answer.
Thing or person. Living things counts.
Okay. My mom,
So, your mom.
for sure.
Hmm. Is there a reason why?
She's just the best.
Yeah.
She
Period.
deserves the best.
Yeah.
Period.
Tracy?
I can't say chocolate now because you said I'd say chocolate. I think good health. I have lupus, and so
What's
it
that?
makes some day. Lupus?
Mm-hmm.
It's an autoimmune disease where the
no.
body attacks itself. So I have good days and I have bad days, but the more I have of good days, the better. So I really value good health.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Lupus, it's a really common disease, more than 200,000 US cases. And man, that sounds I hope it's not severe, and yeah, that's health is super crucial. So thanks for sharing that. EJ?
For me, it is time. I think time is really important for me to spend time with my family to pursue my dreams. Yeah.
Very true. Ellen?
Oh, I think it's to live happily with my loved one. And that's probably what I value the most.
Your laptop?
Sorry, I think my Mac. I said loved ones.
Loved ones.
Loved ones. Yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Yeah, very big difference between a laptop and loved ones. Thank you for the clarification. Laura?
I was laughing, sorry. I think my family and my friends, because they give me straight to
You
do
forgot
the things I
Naruto.
have. Oh yeah, Sasuke
that
too.
too.
Yeah. Thank you, Kishimoto.
I thought you were just listing a jujutsu sign or something. I don't know what the last part was, but thank you. All right. Leah? Oh, wait. Leah, I think it's... Mic doesn't work. Rex?
Well, the most important thing in my life is definitely this community. Because Jesus Christ, man, this community is truly special. And I'm not kidding when I say this. But also, I do love my work very much. So this is like one of the most important things in my life, and my family, of course. So I do the work for myself, but also for the family, So
Yeah.
this is the most important thing.
Yeah. This is why you have my deep respect, brother. Thank you.
Likewise, man.
Reams?
If I have to choose one thing, it would be my cats.
Is it the joy that they bring in your life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My cats is like my everything.
How many cats do you have, if you don't mind?
Well, there are two in this house, but one is my sister's and one is mine. Yeah, my cat is called Nami.
And what does it mean? Does it have a meaning behind it?
It's from an anime.
Oh. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Animals are beautiful. Especially
Yeah.
especially cats and dogs. I think there's a deep resonance between them.
Mhm.
Thank you, Reams. Seth?
Honestly, I'd say family and the time that I have,
Mm,
like the time that I can spend with them, because I know not a lot of people can,
true.
since they go out and study in different countries. So I'm really grateful to have them by me.
Man, thank you guys for sharing. I'm already getting a little maybe emotional, but truly I resonate with your most important things in life. Time is something that is so valuable that we're beginning to appreciate as we mature in life, but truly grateful for sharing your experiences and what values you guys hold. And yeah, thank you. Next, I'd like to get started. So in this presentation, we're going to be talking about immigration. And by the end of the presentation, my aim is that each of us can identify our challenges and establish our goals. We're going to come up with solutions to tackle our challenges and make sure to implement them in our daily life. I'm learning with you guys, and all of this is new information for me I found through research recently. So let's get started. So here's the agenda for today. We're going to be talking about the importance of immigrants. We're going to be doing some exercise, defining our goals, at least a general direction, pinpointing our challenges, and offer solutions. And we're going to be talking about the various of research-backed study techniques. And we're going to be doing a reflection at the end. So hope you guys are excited, and let's get started. So immigrant, let me open this question to you guys. What pops in your head, like when I say the word immigrant? Does anyone want to take a jab at it? Feel free to just unmute and take a jab. Oh, come on, guys, don't be shy.
Yeah, I can say something here.
Mhm.
I don't like, for me, I think about like my kind of childhood and background when because my family is kind of immigrants from Iraq, and they
Right.
like immigrated from there.
Mhm.
So when people kind of look at me or whatever, it's not like the normal Swedish guy,
Yeah.
and this is like the typical image I get when it's like immigrants and stuff like this. It's
Yeah,
connected with a lot of things, but very short, this is my answer.
for sure. The definition of immigration means the action of coming to live permanently in a foreign country. The theme of today's presentation is immigration because we're going to be tapping into the realm of the unknown. So let's talk about the different various types of immigrants. So we have the runners, the ambitious, as well as the majority. So first, there's the one running away from the mouth of the shark. It's impossible to stop them because in their minds, there's no home to return to. The runner might be running away from a flood, murder, and violence, or even hunger. And second, we have an ambitious migrant who needs to get out at all costs. This would be Apu, the protagonist of Apergito, and second of Ray's Apu's trilogy, who is caught between his lonely mother and their village home, and many exciting opportunities offered by the city. As his father suddenly dies, Apu barely bears the responsibility of being the head of the family and acclimates himself to life in the city. So most of you guys probably haven't heard the story of Apu, but this is a typical story of someone who's ambitious. And in general, migrants do many things that do not require particular skills, but their jobs often involve backbreaking work calling for great stamina and patience. So examples could include construction or fruit picking jobs many migrants from Latin Americans take in the US. Not everyone is willing to do this day to day. And on the skilled labor side, most doctors who serve on the poorest corners of US are migrants from the developing world. And these are the leaders on the front lines, are true heroes and also considered the ambitious. And in terms of evidence, there's been research study. When 125,000 Cubans moved to Miami, the labor force increased by 7%. And there's no hard evidence that low-skilled migration to rich countries drives wages and employment down for natives. So we have the majority. We went over the runners and we went over the ambitious. Let's talk about what's happening? The majority. So the third, we have the majority of people who don't face extreme or internal compulsions to move. They don't chase after the extra dollars. Even without border checks and immigration agents to dodge, they stay where they are. In Delhi, a survey of slum dwellers, many of them recent migrants from Berar and Uttar Pradesh, showed that an average family lived on slightly over $2 a day. And although this is double the earnings on the bottom 30% of the two states that we mentioned, who live on less than $1 a day, the rest of the 100 million people who are living in Berar and Uttar Pradesh, people have not opted to move to Delhi. And we're going to be talking about why. And this is also shown in developed countries like Greece, in which less than 350,000 Greeks, so this is 3% of Greece's population, immigrated at the height of the economic crisis. So during the economic crisis, there was 27% of the labor force who had no jobs, but still they did not move. And let's talk about why. And before we get into the why, the idea that most people are waiting for an occasion to give up everything to a richer country is not true at all. Like, I was really shocked to hear that, because I thought every immigrant or every possible migrant wanted to leave. But that's just not true, because there was non-governmental organizations providing a randomly chosen group with information about the availability of jobs, but the information alone had no effect. Knowledge itself isn't power, but combined with a will to act, this has power. So let's talk about it. Why do the majority stay still? As British Somali poet Warren Shire said, "You only leave home when home won't let you stay." Competition with long-term residents. It's not easy for an immigrant to find a decent job. The exception is where the employer is a relative or a friend, or at least a co-ethnic, someone who knows or at least understands the migrant. For that reason, migrants head to places where they have connections. Finding a job is easier this way. So network connections really matter. Next, comfort of homes. When questioning migrants' respondents in the Delhi slums, what they enjoyed about the cities, many replied the options to give their children better healthcare, education, and accessibility to getting a job. The environment was a big criticism, as Delhi has some of the most unpleasant air in the world. The combination of choked drains, absent sewers, and piled up garbage gives slums in India this very horrific odor. And therefore, many slum dwellers don't bring their families to the cities. Traditional communities. Parents who worry about being abandoned in an old age may strategically underinvest in the education of their children to make sure that they have the option of not have the option of moving to the city to meet the demands of the parents. When I read this, I was just horrified, and so it seems cynical. Imagine you're a parent and you underinvest in the education of their children so that you meet your own needs. But this is just the harsh reality. Overestimating risks and misinformation. In Nepal, prospective migrants overestimated their earning potential by around 25%. And all these numbers that I'm saying, guys, don't don't take it too seriously. I just want you guys to get the concepts, which is who are the majority, who are the runners, and the ambitious. They also overestimated that the chance of dying while abroad was 10 out of 1,000. So they believed 10 people would die after 1,000 migrants, but the reality is that only 1.3 people die out of 1,000. So misinformation was keeping migrants at home. The absence of information created the fear of uncertainty and thus prevented potential migrants. Risk versus uncertainty. Now, most people don't like dealing with the unknown unknowns and will go to great lengths to avoid making decisions in cases where they do not know the exact outlines of the problem. I resonated a lot with this. If I'm uncertain about something, I'm not willing to take the risk, I feel like there has to be a certain threshold for me to take that risk, and a lot of people don't take risks for this reason because they're unsure. And fear of failure. I'm sure all of us resonates with this one. Fear of failure is a disincentive for embarking on risky adventures. Most want to protect the image of ourselves as intelligent, hardworking, morally upright individuals, since it's not pleasant to admit we are dumb, lazy, and even immoral at times. Maintaining this good opinion of ourselves preserves our motivation to keep trying in the face of whatever life throws at us. And in order to uphold this certain self-image, we constantly polish it, which means we have to admit unpleasant truths and trauma of having to start over again. Instead of going from employment to retirement, migrants are being asked to reset their experiences and to move from a town where no one knows them and start at the bottom of the ladder. It's no wonder they stay fixed. It really does take an ability to dream, and we need a dose of confidence to overcome this tendency to persist with the status quo. So, this was a quote from Franklin D. Roosevelt. Remember always that all of us, and you and I especially, are descended from immigrants and revolutionists. And man, this one, I had to read this a couple of times because sometimes I do get kind of clouded and forget like where my ancestors have been. But all of us have, descendants and immigrators. I don't know if that's the right word. No, immigrants that all started from somewhere, as well as revolutionists. So let's not forget that. And that's a valuable lesson in our history. And I bet every single one of us has an immigrant descendant. All right. Now, let's get into the exercise. So this is what we're going to be doing. Make sure you have a pencil and a sheet of paper. We're going to be writing our short-term goals for around 3 months, and this must be realistic, and it could be put into action right away. So it could be, to give an example, it could maybe like a certain mark that you want to get, or just small habits that you'd like to see change. I want to read a little bit more. Maybe I want to cut my consumption on chocolate, Tracy, like something like that. Very short term. So let's get started. I'll put like a 3-minute timer per each one. So yeah, the timer starts now. Let's write this short-term goal around 3 months, and this is personal. So let's get into it. All right, we got less than a minute, and you guys might be already practicing this, but the goal of this exercise is reinforce like what really matters. And it could be as easy as, just running more, playing something, finishing your courses. Doesn't have to be super detailed, as long as you have a general direction of where you want to be headed. That's what matters. So just list your thoughts on. All right, that was the timer. Does anyone want to share their short-term goals? Maybe we could go down the list. That'd be good. Maybe one thing. Let's see if we could go down the list. Serve.
Yeah, so my short-term goal would be, well, I have one in particular that I'm working on right now. I'm trying to be more invested into charity work. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it in English. It's a bit complicated, but basically, I'm the mentor of a child from a difficult background, and the goal is to help them have more self-confidence, help them with homework, and going out, like going to the cinema, to the park, and that's something that is really important to me. So this is going to be my short-term goal.
Thank you. Yeah. I could imagine how fulfillment you could feel, especially if you see that
Yes.
and being played out.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's beautiful. Tracy.
Thank you.
I have no intention of cutting down on my chocolate intake, so it's not gonna happen.
Oh, man. It was worth a try.
I do want to increase my exercise, so and that's kind of hard to do in the winter, so I don't want to fall down on that. But mostly, I'm going to apply to a new graduate program, so I need to pick out the classes I want to take for spring in the program I'm in, and I need to finish my classes, and I need to get letters of recommendation.
Nice. Great goals. EJ?
Yeah, so I am also a huge lover of chocolate, so that's in my list. Cut sugar intake actually, because yeah, I'm trying to come over that, and also to have a regular exercise, which is very hard for me because I'm studying while working, and then get to know the basics in my new job and do not have backlogs in my studies. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I love how concrete those steps are, and it's very actionable, so great. Ellen? Ellen, can you hear us? We go back to her. Laura?
Mine is pretty simple actually. It's just wake up early on the weekends because I need consistency in my routine. But it's very hard for me. I can't wake up early because I don't know, procrastination.
Yeah. Maybe that's another topic we could talk about in the call, because I have trouble with that, believe it or not. Okay. Leah? All right. I think Leah fell asleep probably, like with all the all the talking I've been doing. Rex?
Yeah. For me, it's a quite different stuff. It's for example, launch my website because I'm working on it and I've been working on it for like 5 months now. And so that's like one big goal. And complete like my last case study, I guess, like pass and actively think about my studies. I do not have exams, but I still have to kind of pass my assignments. And yeah, I think I'll allocate like this. I think the important part is like allocate time for rest and stuff like this, because I've been having heart problems and stuff like this. So because I overwork myself too much, so I have to like actively, I guess like try to rest without like feeling too guilty with it. So I'll have to check up on that. But I think it's not super hard because like Christmas is creeping up and oof, oh boy.
True.
Lord knows it's rest weeks. So yeah.
Yeah, I think talking about balance of work-life balance, I think that's really important. So, thanks. Reams?
Well, I need to eat breakfast every morning. That's something I never do.
Oh,
Um, Getting better at planning is also something I want to work at. So I don't need to run
Mhm.
for the bus every single morning because I literally do that. And not forgetting to take my meds.
Mm. Talk about
Yeah, that's
breakfast.
it.
So, how many meals do you eat then?
Um, that's the thing. So I always forget to eat.
Oh no.
When I'm like really busy, when I'm focused,
Mm-hmm.
I forget about everything else. Because I'm like super focused when I'm focused. And when I'm stressing, I also forget to eat. So I literally need to set alarms sometimes to tell myself, okay, get some dinner, get some lunch, whatever, because I won't do it otherwise.
Yeah, I'm just imagining how that'd be. Like I know the heightened fasting, intermediate fasting, not eating for 16 hours, it helps you with increased focus because like when we eat, some of the chemicals that is used for focus, it goes down to our digestive enzymes to break it down. But I've never heard anyone like talk about that when they're not focused, they don't feel hungry as well. So, but I think we could
Yeah,
definitely improve on that. Yeah, go ahead, Reams.
yeah. I mean, so I take medication for my ADD,
Hmm.
and when I take the medication, it makes me feel like not hungry all day
Oh.
long. So, yeah, that's also why I'm not hungry. And with super focused thing
Mm-hmm.
combined, I just forget to eat, and then I go in the train, and sometimes I feel dizzy, and then I
Yeah.
remember to eat and buy something. So it's like a really bad habit.
What about we don't take ADD and instead we eat and then take ADD?
That sounds like a plan.
Dude, I'm just trying to make a solution. Yeah, because this is like quite bothering. Because yeah, I used to have a really like messed up eating routine as well. I would eat like salads on one day. I would eat ramen on one days. But I think that needs to be like talked more upon because it really does kind of affect your energy and focus level. Well, at least for me. And it's a really interesting topic. And thanks for bringing that. Seth.
I need to catch up on schoolwork and
Mm-hmm.
stay caught up. I think that's my main goal, and go outside a bit more.
Yeah, touch some grass.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, but I think we got some really good short-term goals that we could turn it into like actionable steps that we could take in our daily life. Now let's talk about midterm goals. So this is 1 year, and remind yourself, if I really work my butt off, I can achieve it. This could be a little bit more on the unrealistic side, but still, like, there's a reason why it's like dreams are called dreams, right? And goals should be attainable, but we should implement kind of the dream aspect as well, and always have like constantly feed our vision aspect because I feel like sometimes that gets lost. So now we're gonna put a 3-minute timer and think about some midterm goals, and this is think about it in a 1 year time frame. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. we got less than 30 seconds, so let's jot down our final thoughts. If you need more time, feel free to. All right. Timer is up. So, let's talk about it. Our midterm goals. Let's first start off with Surf.
I want to successfully complete my university year. That's really my one goal. That's my main goal. As a former college dropout, I really want to succeed this time.
I believe in you.
I can do it.
Yes,
Thank
you
you.
can. And that's the most important goal. So, I like that. Tracy?
So I want to start graduate school, well, in a new program. And I need to manage it with my lupus because I have bad days, and unlike a healthy person, I can't power through them, and I can't cut sleep. I can't say, oh, well, I have to be strong. I have to just keep going, because that makes me more sick, and more sick ends up in the hospital, and that's not sustainable. So I have to be very, very efficient with my time so that I can work in to the schedule bad days. And in the graduate program in right now, they allow that. So they know I have lupus, and they're pretty forgiving with deadlines. I haven't had to push back too much. It's been a pretty good semester, and 2 semesters. But I'm hoping the next program is going to be good like that too, so that I can remain healthy and achieve my goals.
Yeah. I'm looking up what the lupus disease does, and some of the symptoms, it sounds crazy. Inflammation caused by lupus can affect many different body systems, including your joints, skin, kidneys, blood cells, brain, heart, and lungs. Yeah. Apparently these can periodically get worse and then improve, and there's no cure for lupus. So yeah, well, hopefully we could figure out how to work towards that progress and make sure you attain that goal. But again, this is always like trial and error, and there's no like one absolute like solution. Thanks, Tracy. EJ?
Hi, so I only wrote one thing, and it is to pass my licensure exam. Because this is the second time I'm taking it. The last time I took it, I fell 1% below the passing mark,
Oh
which
my
got me really
gosh.
really frustrated and bad about myself. So, but the passing rate nationwide in our country is just 14%. So it's kind of a hard exam for real. But
Yeah.
I just need to make sure I pass it this time around. Yeah.
Damn. So strong for that. And yeah, for sure. You're gonna do a huge FU to that last time, that 1%,
Yeah.
All right. I think Ellen said microphone's not working, so it is all good, Ellen. But if you want, feel free to type it in the chat. Laura?
I put something like having good grades in the subjects I took and be chosen to be class monitor. Because I hope this happens before 1 year, but yeah, this is what I put.
That's great. Rex?
Yeah, well, stay consistent with my Sigma grind set at the moment. It's going very strong. so I guess I'll stay consistent on that. I'll also graduate, so that's pretty cool.
at you.
And yeah, I want to focus on my finances directly after I graduate. And I also want to get a bird. I always want a bird. So
That's awesome. I love it. By the way, a bird. Here's the big reveal.
in 12 months, I think I can do it.
I love the time frame. It's just like, yeah, a bird in 12 months. I could do it. I could probably do it in 12 months.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I really love birds. So yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
What type of bird are you? Do you have like a particular like breed? How do you even do they even sell birds in Sweden? How do they do it?
Yeah, of course. There's so many birds, but I want the like it's some sort of parrot. I don't know what's called actually, but I don't know. Any parrot will do, to be honest.
You just want a parrot. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so cool. Yeah, I'm looking at pictures of parrots now. I'm getting a little distracted, but no, that's a wonderful goal, and I would love to see a parrot maybe one day while we're talking and on top of your shoulder, just repeating. Oh. All right, turn it down. Thank you, Reams.
I want to improve my skills. So when I encounter problems, I can solve them quicker. I don't want to get frustrated when things go wrong because it doesn't help. Learning new languages. Yeah, those kind of stuff.
Okay, I think a little like suggestion. Like, of course, it's just so that we can make it more precise. Like, if our goals are too abstract, then it's just like another, like a thought, you know. But if we, I think like we could definitely narrow it down. It's like, don't get frustrated. Yeah, we all have like anger issues and problems, right? Could we maybe think of an example when we do get frustrated? So maybe it's your cat. Your cat is making too much eye contact with you, and it gets you frustrated, and you don't let them, play with their toys. Oh, that probably doesn't happen. You spoil your cats. But can we think of an example where you do get frustrated?
I only get frustrated, to be honest, when I have a bug.
A bug. Oh,
Yeah.
a computer. I'm so. Yeah, I was thinking of like an insect, like crawling up or something. Also, like when you have like work problems.
Yeah, so when I have problems and when I can solve it in like 5 minutes, when
Oh.
it takes like more than 10 minutes, that really frustrates me.
Okay. So I think we could restructure this into the word patience. So like developing patience. Would that work?
Yeah, maybe.
And then for learning new language, is there a particular like language you'd be, you want
There
more?
is. I want to learn Rust, and I'm learning Java at the moment, so I want to get better at Java. So I want to focus on these two languages.
I see. That's awesome. And we got more concreteness. All right, Seth.
Trying to get a job in my like field of studies.
Mm-hmm. Is there any like
I
particular?
also- No, not really. I just want a job to get experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I also want to work towards my CCNA or CCNP certificate
Mm-hmm.
for because it also helps with getting jobs. So
That's good.
those are like my two main goals. I don't really have a third one yet.
No, that's fine. And as for like getting a particular field for experience, or maybe more concrete, your goal could be writing your resume, like learning how to sell yourself.
Yeah, this is gonna go hand in hand with my co-op. So
Mm.
hopefully I can get into co-op, and then when I get into co-op, I'll be able to get my job because co-op helps with that. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to work really hard to
Yeah.
get my co-op and job in line.
I love it. All right, we got our long-term goals. Now this should really, really make us excited. So this is 3 to 5 years. It's your dreams and vision. So maybe we could think about when we were kids, like little kids. I wanted to be a trash man when I was a little kid because I saw those like giant, trash trucks. We have them over here. I don't know if they have it in every country, but I thought that was so cool. You know, the guy in the bag, he's like waving at people, collecting trash. I'm like, when I'm doing this exercise, I'm gonna try to go back to that little kid self and see what my desires were, and try to like bring that little self back, because I feel like in our current world and society, we get too civilized and too adopted. I think it's really important to kind of acknowledge and get our feelings of desires back. So let's think about our maybe past self and try to get some good takeaways out of there. So this will be a 5-minute exercise. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1, let's go. really short. Hope you guys really enjoyed that. I personally enjoyed it. If I could talk about some of the things that I wrote, I think living by principles, and I find that really important because I have a lot of like trouble with mental health in particular, and at times I feel like if we have a strong foundation and keep on going back to it and develop that base so it can't be broken down and molded, I think that's like a big long-term goal of mine. Another thing that I wrote down was, I think, learning about technology in general. It's really hard because the amount of information we have, it's a lot, and I think it's going to be even more and more complex as we go on, especially in our lifetime, due to the exponential like kind of progress we're already making. So I think it's really important to be a lifelong learner. So it's like some of the principles I wrote down, and then as for like in terms of career goals, possibly working in financial analyst, and then let's see. Learning about tech, then as well as financial freedom. It's a really important goal, I think, for everyone. So those were some of like the main goals, and also like learning another language. So yeah, that's my goal. Let's get started. Serve.
Yeah. So my long-term goals. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have several, not in a particular order. I want to be done with uni once and for all. Like I said earlier, I'm a former college dropout, and succeeding would be victory for me. The ultimate goal of that process is to pass an exam called, in France it's called CRPE. It's the goal to become an elementary school teacher. And also, I have this project in mind lately. I want to save up some money to apply to a language school in Okinawa, Japan, for a 3 months program. Because I want to live in Japan for a little while and improve my Japanese because I want to become like Sasuke.
Okay. No way you tied that in. But I love it. Thank you.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah, true. Welcome, Murray. I
what
just saw
else?
join in. Welcome. We're doing some exercise. Hello. All right, go ahead, Serve.
I'm on my phone, so I don't know how this works.
Oh, don't. Oh, can you look at our screen?
Yes.
This is what we're working on at the moment.
Okay.
Okay. And we're on the third one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. All right, Serve. Continue on your journey of becoming Sasuke.
I think that's it. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm done.
Thank you. Tracy?
I want to ultimately do a study where I'm looking at the pressure that's put on high school students with college tests, with tests to get into college, and this incredible amount of stress that students in the US and in Korea go through,
True.
and how that leads to suicide, and how that can be alleviated. So I want to do a cross-cultural study, which probably means traveling to Korea, which would be nice, which would be good. Um, and all of that would be done through the master's and the PhD. So probably the ultimate study would be in the PhD, and then I would like to get a job influencing policy about this, so that the societies would come to solutions that don't put this crushing pressure on students.
Yeah. I admire that. I think you forgot meeting BTS or becoming BTS. Shouldn't that be in one of your lists, Tracy?
Well, this is my ultimate. Okay, I'll share a secret, but don't tell anyone.
All right.
My goal is to become well known for my research, so that RM is really, really impressed and wants to meet me, and that's my goal.
I love it. I love how you even have the exact like member too. It's like, yeah, I want no sugar, no one. RM in particular. Yeah, that man. Juicy. All right, thank you, Tracy. EJ.
Yeah, I'm still laughing because of Tracy wanting to meet RM. That kind of inspires me too, and I wanna think, oh, who do I wanna meet? But anyway, so particularly, I hopefully in 5 years' time, I've already graduated masters, and so the 5 minutes given got me so excited that I have had a long list here, but I'm just listing all of my dreams. So I also plan to also this is my dream way back when I was child. So I want to have a really big house. So I've also got that right here. But not really jumping to getting my own house already, because I know that's pretty much expensive. So even just start paying
Planning.
for it, and then yeah. And then, as I've mentioned in the stream earlier, I also want to build a startup that should be contributing to something of value, like maybe helping nature. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. All right, Laura.
So, I couldn't fulfill my childhood dream
What
since
was it?
I wanted to. I wanted to be a Victoria's Secret's model,
Oh wow.
but yeah, but I can't, you know.
Why
But
not?
now, I am short. I don't have money. I live in
Oh.
Brazil. Well, yeah, but it's okay. It's okay. But
I
now
mean,
my dream
I'm trying to think
is
of another model, or like instead of Victoria's Secret, why can't you be like Isabella's Secret, or I don't know. You could go wild with these names. You don't really have to, you know. Let Victoria be the only secret. You could make your own secret and don't reveal it, and you'll be that model. I'm just trolling. I don't know what I'm saying. All right, I'm sorry. Anyway, Laura, let's continue.
my dream now is to go to therapy, graduate, and work in a hospital in the oncology area, to work with cancer patients. So yeah, this is it, I think. And be Sasuke wife of it.
I can't with these anime jokes, dude. It's too good. Wait, you said go to therapy was one of your goals, or be a therapist?
Yes, both,
Both,
because
okay.
I do psychology. Yeah.
Yeah, you learn from the best, don't you? You gotta be a consumer in order to be
Yes.
giving out consumer. I don't know. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Laura.
No, yes, you are right. Yeah.
Maria. Hello. I'm kidding. Maria's on her phone, so we could get back to her. Rex.
Do you hear
Just kidding.
me?
Hey, Maria.
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
No worries.
So I'm a little lost. I have to. Can you tell me what should I
yeah.
say?
Yeah, no, it's not what I'm not making anyone say anything. First off, but we're just talking about like our dream and vision. Do you have any like?
Okay.
Think about 3 to 5 years. Where do you envision, or any of that?
Yes. So So I finished medicine this year. So
Congratulations.
in the next 3 to 5 years, I'll probably do residency.
Mhm.
I'm still not sure what I want to do. I think I really like psychiatry. So I'm with Laura. um, I already did the therapy actually because I had some problems because of the course and stuff like that, the degree I took. So my goal is to really find something that I really want to do for the rest of my life, because I know that sooner or later we can always choose something different, and we can always change our path.
Yeah.
But I, I I would really like to I don't know, do something that fulfills my dreams and helps other people uh, fulfilling their dreams too. That's why I like psychiatry so much, because I really believe that happiness is something really, really important, and I really believe it can change the world and can change people's lives. Because imagine if you are someone with a lot of money or a lot of influence, you can have it and you can have a lot of power, but if you don't understand yourself and don't understand others, how can you be actually good, you know?
Mhm.
I think that's it. My dream is to make a difference and help others make a difference too.
Beautiful. Well said. Thank you, Maria. Rax?
Welcome.
Yes. I want to buy, like, this is, I'm guessing
2 parrots?
5 and plus.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true, but that's later. My priority is get a second bird, and then I can focus on my parents. No, but I actually
Okay,
want
dude.
to.
You're too far.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, yeah. All jokes aside, I want to repay my parents for everything. Honestly, so
Mm.
both my mother and my father did a lot of work to get me where I am. So I have to repay them in any way possible. And I want to kind of prosper in the creative industry. I really like the creative industry, and yeah, I kind of want to do the best work that I can and really feel fulfilled in that area.
Mm.
And think both growth and kindness is like two values I value a lot. It's like focus on your own growth, but also focus on the kindness on the way to reaching that goal.
Mhm.
And mental health and physical health is super important too. So have that consistent and not kind of sacrificing either one to reach the other stuff that I've kind of mentioned. So
Mhm.
everything in balance, and health is super important. So I want to focus on that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Resonate with those goals. Thank you. Reams?
Well, I want to have my own apartment between 3 years, hopefully. I really hope so. Other than that, it's more mentally. I want to be able to control my feelings, to try to see the good in everything, and keeping positive, not being hard to myself when I need to do something. Since I'm never satisfied with my work, like self-critical, that's really it. Like, those are the stuff I want to change for the past couple years. And yeah, it will help me very much.
Thank you, Reams. Seth?
I want to get into real estate. Maybe get like my own house while I'm at it. and I really want to get a car.
Mm.
Those are my two big dreams.
Nice. And I'd love to hear Ellen's. Ellen, if you want, feel free to. But yeah, it seems like all of us, we're on the path of becoming like Sasuke, pursuing our dreams into making a difference, whatever that may be. But slowly but surely, I think we could have achieved that goal. All right. Now let's talk about lifelong goals. What values do you want in your life? Like, let's kind of go from person to person and summarize like a term. It could be as easy as like kindness, you know, more loving, more positive. It could be simple adjectives. But for me, in my personal life, I felt like I didn't understand any of these jargon terms. But like, if I understand like the definition through actions, then that word becomes more valuable to me. And the word like hard work, like even discipline, I had no clue about, but beginning to understand a little glimpse, a little taste of what that may be like. So let's go and talk about some values that you guys want more of, or that you guys want to kind of maintain and hold that balance. So let's, for me, certain value. I think compassion, it's super important. I think Maria elaborated upon this, like money and influence like grants power, but you gotta really know yourself as well as others if you want to, you know, help. And if you don't, you know, have your life in order, that's not possible. And I feel like compassion really allows me to become a better person, caring about others, not being like balancing between selfishness and selflessness. So I think compassion, integrity, character, those values are something that I hold deep, that I want to constantly remind myself. Serve?
To be honest, I have no idea. Values, I don't know if it counts as values, but something that something that I value is I really want to live according to my principles and to stay true to myself, as subjective as it may sound. It may sound a bit selfish, but I really don't want to live my life according to what someone else wants, or doing what other people tell me to do just because that's what they want. Okay, so that's a bit personal, but that's how I see. For me, that's a value I want in my life. I want to be true to myself.
It's an important goal. Yeah, and that's a value. That's a principle. So thanks for sharing that, Surf. Tracy?
I would like to be influential, because I want
RM?
to influence. I'm sorry?
RM? Is it? We gotta think about the ultimate goal, right, Tracy? I'm thinking every time you say influence, I'm gonna be thinking about, okay, why is she doing this? Oh, it's for RM. Okay, now I get it. Now the puzzle pieces are coming together.
Actually, I want to influence policy. I want to influence people to make things better for high school students. I don't want to see potential wasted when you have these students who have, all this in front of them, and they get this terrible pressure and they end their life. I think, so in that way, I want to be influential. I want to be able to change that. And I want to impress RM. It all goes together.
Yeah, I know. I was waiting for that puzzle piece to, fit together. Thank you, Tracy. EJ?
For me, I think I resonate a lot with surf because like knowing living by my own principles because I've been raised in such a competitive environment. So like I feel like I always need to achieve something in order to feel like I'm worth it or I'm worth something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really one. And second is like empathy because I really struggle a lot about being sensitive with other people's feelings because like I've said, I've really been raised as a competitive person. So sometimes I just like do my best and want to be the top tier of all things that I don't get to reflect on how people are feeling regarding my actions or how they view my actions on some things. So yeah, that too would be really, really the things that I want to learn. Yeah.
That's amazing. I resonate. Laura?
I everything everyone say. Um, I I think empathy too. For me is the most important thing in the world. Like with that, we can change. Like for reals, we if you put yourself in the others, you know, I don't know how to explain this in English, but uh, if you can see yourself in the other and put yourself in the place, in the person place, you know, if you know what it is suffer, what it is pain, if you know that, I think the world can be better. So empathy can do that for us, you know, like if you see someone in pain, you can't just say, oh, it's okay, you have another chance. It's not like that for this person, you know. She I don't know, it's just the world is so complicated and so many people are just we are doing here is just so, I don't know, I don't know this phrase in English, but
Don't
it's
worry.
just
We'll understand. Let it out
so
in
hard.
Portuguese.
The world is so messed up, you know, and people can't see that. So is every break like we're talking about, and some people just came and do some hate or I don't know, be bad, be mean with the others, and other people is just, oh, it's okay. No, I don't. We just help people, and empathy can provide this for us. And without it, I don't know, the world will be so messed up more than it is. I don't know. It's just, I think, like Tracy said, competitive. I don't know. I don't know. It's just said. I don't know. Said. Yeah, it's this. But
Yeah.
empathy for me is the most important thing in the world. The goal is that make everyone be empathy.
Oh, that's a really big goal, but I think it could be learned. And I have to quote you on that one. With that, we can change for reals. I love the last part. Thank you, Laura. Maria.
Yes. I think what I want to really have in my life is like it's empathy, of course, because I really resonate with Laura said, and like empathy is so important that you can actually like the obvious part of it is that you're better for everyone, and you can have stronger relationships with others, but you can understand the other better too. So you, for example, if you think that someone is being bad to you and is being really rude, and you think that you can that person wants to do bad things to you, if you're empathic, sometimes you can understand the point of view of that person, and it's easier to cope with things. Like you think, okay, this person is mad and is like really rude, but actually maybe he has a problem, and maybe I could help him somehow. That works sometimes, and when it doesn't, it's okay because you did your best, you know. So it's life becomes a lot clearer and a lot easier, because you don't think bad things like right away, you know. The other thing that I really want is like I think Tracy said, and Cervelet, Cervelet, Eva. I really want to have to do things at my own pace and do things my way, because I feel like I always studied very for long hours. I'm in this group maybe for different reasons. My problem was to stop, actually, because I study for me was like an escape from reality, and I don't want my life to be dark all the time, you know. I really like to study and stuff, but there's so much more. I don't want others to say that I have to do this or that, or that I have to study, or that I have to do whatever. I just want to do what I feel like it, and what I think that it's worth it, you know. I think study is worth it, but I want to do it for myself, and I want to accomplish things for myself. I don't want to, I don't know, like marry because it's supposed to, or have children because it's supposed to, or be a doctor forever because it's supposed to. And I think it's very important to be in control of your own life. And my biggest influence might be my brother, because he's younger than me, and he's more like free-minded, and I learn a lot with him. And I really want to be like that, you know, free and empathetic, because I really think that's the secret to be really, really happy, you know.
Yeah, I guess that's a cheat code of living a fulfilled life, isn't it?
Yes. It's really complex, I'm sorry.
No, it's not at all. I think we all resonate with you.
Yeah, I think we really have to think about these things, because it's so important. And I think most people just don't figure it out. Sometimes you reach like 60 and you don't even know what you're supposed to do with your life. So it's really fascinating that we are here talking, because we are more awake than most people, like with 50 or 60. I really believe that. So yeah.
I mean, I think innately all people have like a desire to change, but like again, like if you're past the age of like 25, or once you have that kind of like belief, then it's like something you need to protect, right? So if you continue like after 25 or whatever the age is, then you get it's like your old child. You need to protect it, and if it gets demolished, like you were living your life wrong, or I guess if empathy is the only, pursuit of happiness, then let's say that empathy wasn't, right? But you were living your life like empathetically your whole life, then
Yeah.
it would be such a trauma to start over, So I think a reason why we see a lot of like older people who are like fixed is because they got too comfortable with their mindset, and it's like a little child they need to protect, and it's not easy. Because imagine living your life a certain way, believing you're right, and then you have to start all over like an immigrant. That's why I chose the theme immigrant, because they're giving up everything and proving to the world like how valuable they are, but again, like in their own subjective way. So I found that really like deep, but true value in what you said. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
Rex?
Yes. I think I mentioned a bit of my lifelong goals last time. So that's basically the growth and kindness aspect. I want to kind of live through that, and I want to stay true to myself and my values from the start, and not kind of change just because, I don't know, the world is cruel or whatever. I want to also take care of my family in general. So yeah, I mean, not only my parents, but also I have 3 smaller sisters. I want to take care of them as well, and make sure that they are living the life they want to live. And yeah, I guess leave an impact on the world. So I guess this is the big question I always have is, if I died today, would I have made a positive impact during my lifetime? And if no, then I should keep doing, and if yes, I should still keep moving forward, but just having that kind of compass in mind, and leaving the most impactful, I guess, like net positive impact on the world before I pass on. So the questions I mentioned on the break, like sustainability and all this kind of stuff, is also very important to me, because I guess when I pass on, I want to have made I want to be either remembered to have made an impact, or just make an impact without people remembering me. But yeah, I guess it's a kind of selfish goal in a way, because it's like I want to. It kind of, I get some sort of personal satisfaction. Like I kind of value myself upon that, if that makes sense. So if I don't make an impact on the world, I feel like I have a less of a value in some way. I don't know. Maybe that's a bad way of viewing it. But
no, not at all.
That's how we view it. But yeah,
we sure have left a big impact on mine. So appreciate it.
Yeah,
and I don't think there's anything wrong with like wanting to leave a legacy. Again, I think pursuing your self-interest in greater scheme of things, in society, it's a net benefit. If we look at terms of like companies pursuing their self-interest, like pursuing like wealth or just providing value, they're compensated for it. So there's nothing wrong with like your selfishness, as long as you, of course, like uphold other values. I think maybe it traces back to balance between like all the empathy, being compassionate, and holding yourself for who you are, integrity. Nice. Reams, I feel like this is kind of turning into a therapy session, but I love it. Reams.
Yeah, it really feels like it. I value honesty the most. I'm very straightforward as a person. It has good and bad sides. So I have friends who like it. I have friends who hate it. But I want to keep being like this because this is who I am. But I really need to learn how to say things with other words, maybe, so people don't feel attacked. On the other side, I don't like to go around the bush, so I don't like to chit chat, or I don't know, say stuff to make it like less bad. I just need to find something in between that works.
Mm. Like that. Thank you, Reems. Seth?
The values I want to live by, I would say, is being free from obligation. Not to the extent where like I don't care about anything, but to the point where if I want to do something, I have the ability to do it. It's kind of comes in like I want to be free in a sense. I think that's the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be free. I want to live my life to the way I want to live, and I don't want to live to someone else's standards.
Yeah.
I think that's all out. That's my main value in life is just living to the max, basically, and not worrying about what other people think about you.
Yeah. I think it's a lifelong journey. And that freedom, I feel that.
Yeah.
All right. I also think Jamin joined us. Jamin, we're talking about lifelong goals. Do you have any values that you want in your life or to kind of maintain?
Sorry, I'm not sure if I sound alright because
Yeah, you sound fine.
I just woke up. So,
Good morning.
yeah, good morning. So for me personally, I feel like for lifelong goals,
I
um,
mean, you
actually
just woke
like
up. What are you thinking about? Like coffee?
yeah, yeah, it's a bit hard to think for like properly right now. But
Right.
I think personally, I watch like news every now and then. And
Mm-hmm.
for me personally, I feel like um, there are a lot of things happening in the world right now, and mostly I feel like they can be quite negative. So personally, I feel it would be really good, let's say that if I am able to have more discipline in myself, and then so that I can just have a more positive impact in this world, regardless it be influencing other people to think in a more positive light. I think that would be more like in general. If I have to be specific, then I think that would be a little hard because I still can't think straight right now. But I think that would be the bigger picture right now.
Wow. Now, even though you just woke up, you still have like concrete, wanting to be more disciplined and more positive and making an impact. I feel like in some sort of way, we're all like the same person, dude. Like I cannot agree more with, being more empathetic, like wanting to leave something in this world, being influential. I'm really glad that we share like these values all together. Almost seems like we're forming a religion, but not really.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, I thank you guys for sharing some of these values that are important to yours, because I value it just as much, and I'm also learning. Like just by sharing, I feel like we're becoming more empathetic because we're beginning to understand each other's incentives, which is the best way to understand the world. So, all right. Whew, that exercise was deep, wasn't it? We're going to be talking about some challenges. All right. So as if this was not enough, let's remind ourselves of the challenges of an immigrant. Some of the challenges why they didn't leave were because risk versus uncertainty, fear of failure, traditional communities, the comfort of their homes, overestimating their risks and misinformation, and also the trauma of having to start again. And now as we think about these, maybe we could go down the list, think about some problems. It could be really personal or it could be like more abstract, and let's try to figure out some solutions. So, Surf, sorry to pick on you like first all the time, but you always have creative ideas. Do you have any problems? Like, if you could pinpoint one problem. If I say the word problem, what pops up? Please don't say my name.
Oh. Uh,
Or maybe let's give like 3 minutes for us to list down some challenges, cause, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
All right, let's get started. We're gonna be talking about some of the challenges we go through in our personal, like everyday life, and make sure you think about your fear of failure. Is it the trauma of starting over again? Are you too comfortable with your ideology? Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Good luck, guys, and have a great sesh. All right. That was the timer. Serve, you want to take a jab at it?
Okay, let's go. Okay, so to be honest, I don't think I have. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I don't think I have many challenge because everything I'm doing or everything I started to do is going smoothly so far. But okay, so I hesitated to talk about it, but I think maybe some of you is going through this or knows someone who's going through this. So I'm going to say it because we're not that many people in the call. But my biggest problem right now is that I am dealing with an addiction that has many impacts on my life. Maybe not studying. I don't think it has any impact on my studies, but on everything else it does. And okay, to be honest, the only solution I can think of is therapy. So I can't do it by myself. That's for sure. I need help. I need support. I need love. I need to be reminded that I can do it, that I can get away from it. So yeah, I don't have. It's not that I have, many or a few small problems. I really have that one big challenge that I'm going through right now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Thank you. Addiction's not easy. We've all gone through it. If not, it will come. I think we'll figure out solutions. And the second part, I just wanted to hear from you guys. Tracy.
Well, obviously, my biggest problem is how to meet RM. And I think I've got a solution. It's Laura gave me this idea. She's gonna work for the UN.
Okay.
And so she's gonna vouch for me, so that I can speak at the UN. And RM is always speaking at the UN, and it'll work. But in a real situation, my biggest problem is managing health in school.
Right.
And I don't know. It's an evolving problem. I just really don't know. What did you say? Consumption of chocolate?
Anyways, I don't think it seems like there's no solution for this, Tracy. Sorry to let you know. I'm kidding. So I think the biggest problem is like balance between like work and life. Is that too abstract?
It's my health. Well, it's my health, and then it's school. And so school has unlimited amounts of demands, but my health says, well, no, we can't meet all of those demands. And so it's difficult.
What was that? What was it called? Oh my gosh, I forgot what the disease name was called. It was Ludor, right? Tracy? Tracy, can you hear me? Oh, it was called lupus. Alright, I think we got a perfect solution for Tracy. So, for Tracy, school has unlimited demands, but health has restrictions. And for the solutions, I think it's this is pretty viable. We could invite RM to cure lupus. Yeah, sounds pretty good. All right, let's move to EJ. EJ, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so it's almost the same with Tracy, but just like it's work, studies, and like responsibilities in the organizations I join in. Yeah. So basically, I always wish for an additional 24 hours a day. It's not that I procrastinate a lot, but like there are always a lot of things to do. So it's so hard to manage all those three, especially with my job. So I work as an auditor right now, and then that job like requires 16 hours of work, and
Wow.
and the overtime is not paid. So, but I'm leaving anyway. So, but still, that it's so hard to manage the time.
All right, time management. Laura.
My problem is like EJ problem, procrastination, I have a lot to do in my college. I don't have a lot of exams, but I have a lot of paperwork,
Mm.
and my colleagues don't do anything, so I'm like just do it alone, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little dismotivating. So I lack of motivation, you know, because I have to do all by myself, and sometimes I'm just be like, what I'm doing this, like, no, it's just hard.
You
But
you
yeah,
lose your goal
yes,
too quickly.
like what I'm doing this for that person and not for me,
Mm.
you know.
Okay. Thanks, Lara. Maria.
Yes. So problems. I think my biggest problem next year will be managing time between my job and studying, because I think I will have to do another exam next year.
Mm-hmm.
So but I'll be working at the hospital, so I really don't know how do things, but
Mm-hmm.
I think I can manage it. So I'll figure a way out. So the biggest problem right now, I think it's more like managing relationships. This is strange, but with so much work and studying and stuff like that, I feel like I I can't give as much as attention as I want to the people I love, like family, friends,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a problem. You know, you can say that, oh, but you have to think about yourself and stuff, but there's some good friends that you really want to stay with, and that's important too, because you need support in your life, and you for empathy you really need to have humans are social, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really big problem, and that problem arise because I have social anxiety. I don't know if you can tell,
Mm-hmm.
but and that plays a big part of it. So I think I have to work on that. So it's job, studying, and social anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Those three big things. And another problem would be like connect more with my brother, because now we are apart, you know, and I really want to enrich our relationship, because we have a lot of problems, you know. Brothers are like really difficult. Uh, so I really want to work on that too.
Mm-hmm.
And solutions for all of that is, so for school and work, I have to do like a plan and really study like I don't know how many hours, but I'll figure it out with your help and live streams help. I think I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
For friends, I really have to talk a bit more with them, and it takes practice to have really good friendships. You have to really give yourself a little. I don't give myself a lot to people, so and for my brother, I think the solution is just to try to don't be like more mature with him, because when you have a brother, especially if he's younger, you tend to be a little immature with him, and your relationship might be immature, so you have to work on that too, because then you grow up and you really want to be closer to family, like have strong relationships. Just don't be so immature all the time. And it's hard to explain, but I think one day I'll figure it out, and I think I can do it. I just have to have patience and do things as I can. I don't know if I make sense, but
Yeah. All makes sense.
yes.
And yeah, I go with social anxiety. Like I don't even now really anxious because I don't.
Yes.
It's hard, but you know, it's for the greater good. It's impacting all of us, and try to really
Yes.
think of this as like a family for real. So that's been helping me.
Yes, I think we just have to don't like if you're like me, you fear that people think you're doing things wrong and stuff like that. But if people think that you really it's like it's their problem, you know.
For real.
It's not about you, it's about them. You're doing your best, I'm doing my best, and I really try to think like this. So
It's a beautiful mindset. Yeah, and that needs constant revision and repetition, which at times just
Yes.
don't seem viable if you're like, too caught up in negative emotions, which we'll talk about as well. Rax.
Okay.
Thank you, Maria. Rax,
Thank you.
what's your challenge rather than being too attractive, my sir, my good friend?
No.
No.
I have a big problem of time management too. I have around 500 Naruto episodes, which times 24 is a lot of minutes. Mine is filler, so that helps. But yeah, like seriously, I think
Holy.
efficiency is my big problem. I've actually fixed my sleep schedule,
Oh, look
so
at
that's
you.
cool. Yeah, I actually sleep at 12 now and wake up at 8, so even at weekends. Yeah, but I do deal with like burnout and occasionally some not so fun panic attacks. So like I want to focus my I don't know, like my time correctly. Like I go how I work is like in periods. Sometimes I work so much that it can hurt, and then I'm in an off period is in like 1 to 2 weeks. Then I'm on again for like 1 month, and I'm burned out, and it's like this vicious cycle. So I guess like balancing that is huge for me, because like every off period, that's when your like sleep gets pushed to the side and not a priority anymore and all the kind of stuff. So I guess efficiency and work-life balance is the summary.
Thank you. Seth?
For me, I would say time management as well, since I spend so much time watching anime. I'm pretty sure I watch way more than Rex. I watched all of Naruto, One Piece. Oh, it's too much. And I lack focus, except for when I'm studying. But like I can focus on like so many episodes of anime that I can just binge it in one day. And it causes me to procrastinate a lot. I'm just trying to fix it slowly but surely.
Yeah. Talk more about it. Chimin.
I feel like we all share very similar problems. I think I do have a little of each person's problems here and there. Personally, I feel like what affects me most is the lack of discipline, lack of self-control. I think many times we all understand what is good for us, but we have difficulties trying to do the right thing. Just like how it applies to me at work, I think I also, because of the lack of discipline to do what is needed for the day, I think very often it adds on to my stress, that I have more things to do the next day. And it's a very bad cycle because I feel like it just keeps accumulating every single day. And I think it applies to studies and everything as well for other people. Um, actually, it's a little hard to just bring all my problems and then trying to say them all in one shot, but I do hope that I do think that I need to achieve like a better state of myself whereby maybe I need to have more inner peace. Yeah, I feel like very often I have problems focusing at work. Like the focus is just there for like a few minutes and then I feel either zoned out or I feel very tired and it really affects my efficiency. And I think very often one single problem can have many implications, and in the end your life would be very sort of affected in a bigger
Fulfilled.
scale. Yeah, because of very simple problems in my life, just like how because of the lack of discipline maybe my sleeping schedule is affected, so I wake up tired the next day and then I cannot do my work properly, and then I couldn't find time to heal myself. I couldn't just settle down and think properly to do what I need to do next. And so a lot of problems keep piling up. I just hope that I'm able to face myself more honestly. And I think because there's a lot of like noise in this world, there are a lot of distractions. I hope that I can have more time to myself to really think through quietly what I need to do next, and then just to stick to it and like not like flaking out, you know. So yeah, I hope to work more on that.
Okay.
And I think, sorry, just before you say something, Jin, I do appreciate everybody like sharing their problems. And initially I thought it's a little hard for me to open up because I'm still not completely like familiar with everyone here. So it may be a little hard to, you know, suddenly share my problems at like 4 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, but yeah, I do appreciate everyone being very honest with themselves. It also made me more comfortable to share my own personal problems. Yeah.
I'm so
Thank
glad we could make you feel comfortable. And yeah, it takes great courage to open up, and I know that's not easy, but like I think we all try to like keep true to our like who we are, and that's what makes like us be able to open up so easily and really get to know each other. Like I personally find the icebreaker questions, it was like a little, you know, a little tease into what we're going to be doing, like these deep conversations. This is where like I find most value. I don't really find shallow talk intriguing. It's boring, and it's just like kind of a waste. Like these are more interesting and more applicable to our life because it's truly who we are, right? So thanks to everyone who opened up about your problems, and now let's take a moment of like organizing this and figuring out solutions. So first, I think we have addiction. So we're gonna sum this up in addiction of all sorts. It could be, for example, it could be alcohol. It could be consumption of social media. I think just any information related consumption of information, alcohol. Trying to think of any other addictions.
You can say consumption of media.
Yeah. Alcohol consumption. It could also be.
There's something called gambling that is like related to games. When you play for money, that's not really common, but sometimes you can have that and other addictions.
Yeah. So these are just
I
some
don't know.
things to like keep in mind. Now,
Yes.
let's think about what I think Sir said: love and reminding. I think those are really important, especially when anyone's going through addiction. Like most of you guys know, I like really struggle with like social media consumption in general, and I'm still going through it. It's I don't have like a set solution, but I think it's like a self experiment thing. So if you guys could like, let's go through like personal anecdotes and see how you guys like better cope with it, and then if it resonates, we'll list it here. But I think reminder of maybe even principles going back, it's super important. Love and appreciation, it's a really good one. Does anyone else want to add on to dealing with any forms of addiction?
I want to say just because the fact that Sir knows that she need help is like super important. You know, just the fact that she knows he needs help.
Yeah.
And so the most important thing, she's got it. So now she has to seek for this help, you know, like therapy or a group project, something like. She can't do it for herself, so the help must come from another, like a professional help, not just let me go out with my friends, talking about my family. Like, okay, this helps, sure, but a professional help is the most important thing now for her. I think
Really
saying
well
all this, but by my knowledge, I think.
Yeah. Well said. I think Rex, you wanted to add on to something?
Yeah, it was the exact same thing as Laura said. Kind of just if you know you need external help, then that's huge. You just should stick to that. And I guess, I mean, there is, for me, like if you need like help with addiction, for example, there's like a gaming addiction and stuff like this, which I've had previously in my life, and how you can stay out of that, like it's just like I've consumed to get rid of that addiction, and what I consumed was like mindful content. So I don't know how many is familiar with like it's like there's like a kind of an internet therapist kind of who kind of talks to others, just like this meeting, but he has them one-on-one, and he shares those meetings on the internet, and like he has a YouTube and everything. So I kind of watch those, and it helps me kind of go through whatever like resonates with me with like within that call. So yeah.
Well said.
I don't know.
Yeah. As long as if you could maybe channel your consumption into things that could maybe turn you into an opposite person, like whatever addiction it is, that could definitely be a possible solution. So thanks, guys. Next up, let's talk about Tracy. Tracy's problem with health plus school balance. School has unlimited demands, but health has restrictions. So, rather from inviting Aram to cure lupus, we have to think about how can you better health? How can we maintain like a healthy lifestyle, but also be able to balance school? Would this, do you guys think this would meet under time management? I feel like health and time management are two different things. So maybe we could make this into health management.
Yes, about these, I think maybe when you have to kind of choose between health and school, maybe you should concentrate in health, because if you're healthy, it's easier to do other stuff. So maybe in this case, the best advice would be to really invest in yourself and your well-being. And if you do that, the rest will manage itself, kind of. Of course, we have to be really like, we have to have plans to study. We have to low procrastination and stuff like that. But the number one problem here, I think, it's the health part, in my opinion. So if you go through that and you can manage that, maybe the rest will be easier, you know.
Yeah, great.
I think that's I think that's really right on, that you have to do the health before the school. For me, I have to be able to not listen to people who say, "Oh, push through, keep going, no matter what," because they don't understand my specific situation, and that may be really great for them, but they're just like, "Well, why don't you work all night?" Or, "Oh, you have this deadline. Well, you should do anything to meet it." And I have to silence those voices, because otherwise I can feel pressured. I can feel like I'm being judged, like, "Oh, well, I look weak because I'm not doing this."
Yes. I understand that. With the mental health, it goes the same way. People think you're weak or something because you have any kind of problem. It can be even like a cold. People will say, "Oh no, that doesn't matter. You should do things anyway." I think it's more intelligent to really, like you said, just don't listen to that and really concentrate in yourself, and then you can be really successful. I think the times that I was more successful in my life, I wasn't like concentrating just in the study part. I really invested in me, and I really invested in my mental health and my physical health too. And then all the other things went just perfect, you know?
I think these ideas also apply to addiction, in the learning to love yourself and take care of yourself, and not listen sometimes the voices in your own head, but also the voices outside who are judging you, or seem to be judging you. Is just to remember, you are a good person and you're worthy no matter what.
Yes, I really agree with that.
Yeah, really sound advice. All right, let's go into the next one. Organization and time management from EJ. How can we help or figure out a solution for time management? Time management, I feel like it really deals with efficiency, and organization, I feel like this is like a subjective thing. You need to figure out how to organize. Is there a way or methods that you guys use for organization and time management in particular?
Well, actually, I already have one for organization. I list down
Oh yeah?
all
What's
the
that?
things. Yeah, I list down all the things that I need to do. Like, yeah, I do a tracker or a journal. It's just really the time management that is hard, especially when you have a really long list and you just have a limited time.
So how do we deal with time management?
Yeah, And I think that will also answer um a lot of us because it's
Yeah.
almost common for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Go
a
ahead, Rex.
question. Yeah. Time management, like when you say time management, is it for me, it's like the work-life balance aspect of it, but is it that you're not getting your the desired work done, or what is it that you mean by time management?
I also think it's the work-life balance because I need to spend a lot of hours working, yeah, and not so much time for the other areas of life.
Right. So
yeah.
go ahead.
No, it's just like for me,
Mhm.
I have no problem like completing my work really because it's like what I did is count kind of where my day was allocated. So I did like a what is it called a task or whatever for a week. I made a challenge for myself to predict how many hours I thought were going to different things. For example, my taking care of my health, studying, working. So how many percent that was, and like breaks and leisure time. And then I tracked my time through an app basically. So I logged where every half an hour of my waking hour went throughout the week. And then I realized that I was not putting so much time into the things that I wanted to. I was actually I thought I was spending 25% in kind of breaks and leisure. It was actually 36%. So it's like a huge increase in regards to what was in my head. And so I had to really dig deep into my schedule and like know where the problem lies and why I feel I don't have time. But the problem I have after that is now I am having the work-life balance issues where I'm like always burned out because I'm too focused on being efficient. But yeah, that's like how you get your work done. But I have not come much further than this.
Do you mind, Rax? What is that an app that you use?
Yeah, I use
Mm.
it on iOS. Let's see, what is it called? It's called Now Then. I can send it in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Let's check it out. Now Then time tracking app.
But just a comment on that. I think that can actually help me because although I do manage my time well, I'm not aware of how I manage it. Like
Mm.
I spend most of my time working, or how many percent do I spend on some other things. So yeah, that might really help actually.
Yeah. I think it's yeah, feedback is super important, and I think Rex that's probably the most sound advice and most viable to track your, like, especially even when you're working out or exercising, you want to lose certain amount of calories and work on your diet. You count your macros, like how much protein are you eating. We could really get in depth of like the specifics, and I think this is like a perfect example of how to properly manage your time, because I mean, we could get things done. It's just how are we allocating it, and then how do we redistribute it to the activities that we want to. So
yeah,
thank you, Rex.
And something just quickly I want to add to this is like track it for 1 week is like the minimum time I would say. Don't do it a lot, like don't do it for a month or a year if it's too crazy for you, because it could be, I don't know, it could be stressful. It's time consuming. Like the idea of, all right, now I have to log my time for an entire week, or that could be daunting. But just think of it as a 1 week project. After that, you don't have to do it. If you want to do it afterwards, then that's great. But you don't have to. But like the 1 week time frame is quite good because you get the weekends in there as well, and you can see how your time spent during the week.
Thank you so much, Rax.
And then also adding on to that, we talked about getting the work done, so we could knock off that part. But now let's talk about the work-life balance. How do you guys deal with this?
No, I don't really have an answer for that because that is the really hardest part.
Okay. So let's talk about it. Work-life balance in terms of what aspects, or like which parts of your life does not feel fulfilled.
Maybe it's knowing myself more. Like every time for example, we have breaks, right? And we talk about everything, just any other aspects. And then I wanna learn it. I wanna do sports. Um I wanna explore my talent, but then you'll get constrained by the resources you have, which is again time. So yeah, so basically just getting to know myself more.
Okay. So how do we get to know ourselves better?
Spending time with ourselves maybe, but that's the thing again, the time constraint part.
Okay. I think okay, so the best this might not be viable, but because it like inherently in anything, any of these solutions, we're going to need to spend time. But I think this is worthwhile, which is like writing your thoughts and journaling. I think definitely helps for me. Like
Yeah.
after like the sessions, you might be like seeing me like jotting things, and that's like logging whether I was focused and what task I was doing. And I feel like in order to know yourself, you really need to talk to your kind of like that inner voice. It could be both the good and the bad, that deprives you into like things you don't want to do, but you could kind of catch yourself by writing your thoughts down and kind of allowing that inner voice that you've been, pushing away for so far to kind of let out and express itself. Like for me,
Yeah.
at least for me, I've had a very hard time expressing myself, and I still do. I talked about it in today's like live stream, but it's not easy, and it's really hard because how do you really know yourself if we have like algorithms and phones and social media that knows us better than we do, like what we consume? So you really have to attack kind of like the system in terms of like what you consume. So be aware of like what information, which inputs are you taking in, and also be able to reflect. I think the reflection part is really important. If you're just consuming and not reflecting upon that, then it's just it's wasted potential. So list down whatever you're thinking about, because I think that's the way to express yourself a little better and articulate your thoughts in the way you want to. But that's in terms of just like knowing yourself. In terms of work and life balance, I think this is really subjective. It really matters on what you value in life. Is it the time you spend with your family? If so, how do you want to allocate it? And I don't think there should be like restrictions. Oh, I'm gonna only spend 3 hours with my family on Sunday. Like for me on Sundays, it's like it's truly family time. I don't really have like a set limit, because then I feel like it's going back to that toxic productivity. Like, oh, I have to allocate my time 100%. It has to be routine. No, it's not like that, because there's some things that are inherently more valuable than others, and that would be like family relationships. You can't value that. You can't quantify that. They deserve your time. So maybe another solution would be writing out your priorities, what is valuable in your life, and then rank them in terms of importance. And then for the really important one, don't allocate it, like don't have a set amount of time for those. But then for the ones that are maybe not so important, like maybe it's like work, I mean those are really important, but you could quantify and you could kind of balance it out, right? Because you are in control of your efficiency. We could always improve that, so we could quantify those numbers. But for the priorities, we shouldn't put a set time for that, because then where's the balance?
Yeah. And just to share, while you were talking, I just thought of maybe what the thing that would really help is never ever never ever feel guilty about the time you spend, if it really involves your family or getting to know yourself, because that's the thing, we always feel guilty if we
Yeah.
are not studying or working, right? So yeah, I just realized that now.
Yeah, I feel guilty as well. For example, if I'm not like early in the break, I said I feel guilty if I don't if I don't appear as if I'm like studying, you know, even though if I am, it's that you have to value it. No one else is gonna value it for you. But at times, again, like the noise and so many hierarchy, complex systems that we tie ourselves into, it really does deprive us of freedom of like doing what is important for us. And I deal with it literally every single day. It's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, the best way for me to kind of deal with it is recognizing it and going back to like principles of like, okay, is this really valuable? If so, let's stick with it and like push through it. But I don't want to sound off as if like you really have to like adopt this mindset. It really isn't. It's a trial and an error, and I'm going to be constantly learning. And this is like not the set rule for me, but it's how I cope with at the current moment. It's acknowledging it, and then kind of going back to what really provides me with value. You know?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of us here will resonate. So thank you so much, Ray.
Yeah. No worries.
Yeah.
I don't. Go ahead, Rex.
Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, like, did we really? I don't know if we answered the question. Time
The
management in
work-life
terms of
balance.
work-life balance. So
Yeah, I
go ahead.
yeah, I wanted to add to the work-life balance part is I don't know, the problem I have is it's not that I don't like what I do and that's what I get, like why I get burned out. It's because of like you get I don't know, like tired, I guess, but you can't like sleep 24/7. You know, it's like I do exercise, I do eat healthy and all that kind of stuff, so I know it's not those kind of factors that are affecting me. It is more likely the I guess not taking breaks enough, but I do I like I feel guilty when I take breaks, and this you know we talked about this like just now with the EJ that like you should avoid being guilty, but I have really huge struggles with that because I'm like life is pain, so like I can't complain for too long. I just have to stick through it. But I'm seeing like a pattern with Tracy, EJ, with a lot of people here that you know just I guess count it as an investment towards yourself and not wasted time. Because this is like how I have viewed it in the past days. Is like if I take a break, then it's kind of wasted, and I'm not working towards my bigger vision or whatever that could. So
dealing with pain and go ahead.
I think Rax has exactly the right thing in that we have to invest in ourselves aside from our work. Instead of like, oh, the work is the most important and I'm just sort of incidental. I found this semester I have said, all right, I have to have a certain amount of work done, and then at this time I'm shutting everything down and I'm going to go watch a mindless K-drama or whatever. And that helps me unwind and then go to bed at a certain time. And at first it was really hard because I felt like, oh no, I could get another hour's worth of work in, but I actually found my productivity went way up. So yeah, I think this investing in ourselves, it pays dividend.
yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's it's a great way of viewing it.
Invest in yourself aside from work. So this kind of relates back to our icebreaker question into our hobbies. So making sure we're kind of unique because we allocate time into our hobbies. I think it's a really good takeaway as well, because that like our passion, we should put our passions first before like other things, because it could fuel ourselves in other aspects of life, such as life and just overall well-being. Okay. I think we're good on time management. List down your priorities. What activities do you value? And then double down on it. Let's talk about Laura's problem with procrastination and discipline. So, procrastination. In terms of procrastination, Laura, what do you feel? Like, what do you do during your time, if you don't mind?
I don't do nothing. Really, I just keep in my bed and yeah, just in bed with my cell phone. And yeah, I don't do anything. I just struggle a lot with get out of the bed and start to do things, you know. I can't just, okay, let's start the day. I can't do it.
Mhm.
I like I think I just wait for something to give me straight, you know? Like, okay, now I can do it because this person is here doing something, so I have to do it too. So I I enter the live and see you guys there, and like, okay, I need to do this.
Yeah. That's literally how I started. Not joking. That's exactly what I was doing. Literally on bed. I was just mindlessly consuming another day. But I think what really made me kind of overcome that for a little bit, I think social contracts. Social contracts are really crucial. So you have to embed yourself in whatever community, whatever exercise. Like, for example, if I want to lose more weight, then I would be consuming more of like weight loss, or, you know, going to like the gym and forming like a community there, because then there's like a social value, and we're social creatures, right? So I think that social embedment that you're currently doing, it helps you cope with it a little better. So I would definitely go with social contracts. Embed yourself in the community in whatever you do. It doesn't only apply to like study. It could be whatever hobbies. If you enjoy watching anime, then maybe you would join like an anime Discord server or an anime fan club. You know, for Tracy, it would be consuming RM content. You know, anything. But embedding yourself in the community really helps. And as for the lack of discipline, this is my goal. I'm not going to be doing this for the entirety of my life. It's just not sustainable, realistically. Like, the goal is to equip you guys a tool so that you guys can start this for yourself, right? And to stay consistent. I have trouble with it because there's times where I just don't want to, right? It's obvious. But how do you push through that? I think this may be related to addiction factor. It's like, remind yourself. It's like, why are you doing this constantly? You might not like to. It sounds cliche, but it works for at least me. And you got to figure what works for you. And it's like a constant repetition of that. So I would also write, why? Yeah, these are probably like really big secrets of mine. And also, like, I want others to have like the tools to not rely on external factors, but internal factors. And all of these things that I'm saying, it comes from within you, right? I don't think you could rely on like others, because community inherently it's built upon like people who enjoys that. It builds upon itself. So if you're looking for your, I guess, like lack of discipline and procrastination, like really force yourself. When I was like consuming James, I would go into that Discord and I would just, you know, go into the channel, turn on my camera, and then just do my work for as long as possible. And I would do that for days on. And there was a feeling that like I'm not in this battle like by myself. Like I really had a negative like emotion when I first started, because nobody cares. Like it's just me, myself, And why am I doing this, dude? Why am I pushing myself? Why am I suffering? You have to make sure you define the why, and find your why. And your why is going to change, but at least you have a general direction, or wherever you want to run past from. Like I'm running away from my past. I don't want to go to that place. That place is hell. So yeah, this is a byproduct of someone who's like suffered addiction, or kind of coping with it in this mechanism. But this is probably my 2 cents of how I'm currently dealing with it. Create a version of yourself and that you thought you could never become. It could be a fictitious person, to create a world that you want to live in, or you want others to live.
Yeah.
Women.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I just want to say yes, because I think what you said, Jin, is what I want to create a better version of me. You know, this stuff is like, I just wanted to be the best version of myself every day. And I can't do that without pushing myself or trying to get my degree, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think even with all the struggles, I think for especially depression, you know, it's hard to get out of the bed and start to do anything you can, like brush your teeth or taking a shower. But every time, like, I see the streaming in my cell phone, I'll be like, oh, okay, it's time to get up and do my things so I can be a better version of myself. So I think this is my goal. Not exactly like, oh, get my degree, start my work in a hospital, help people. Like, yes, this too, but a better version of myself is the most important thing for me, I think.
Yeah.
So
I'm
yeah,
happy to
thank
hear
you.
that. And just another thing to add onto, it's okay, dude. Like if this is not like you're gonna fail on some days. Like it's just inherent. Like there's gonna be days where I can't. You know, I really can't. And there's gonna be days where I fail. But again, you gotta think of life as if it was like a long-term battle and journey. This is why I really like, you know, another day, another battle. That war imagery that I kind of create in my mind. As long as you have some type of fictitious mind, there's so much power in your imagination that I've beginning to like experience and want to share. It's like, even though you don't perform or you feel really guilty that you didn't do what you needed to do, it's okay, because you're constantly striving to become a better person, or at least like run away from your past or whoever you were. Like, we're all going to be dealing with negative emotions and challenges throughout our lives, but as long as we constantly strive and keep on battling and challenging those notions and whatever we're dealing with currently, I think we could end up in greatness. That's where greatness lies in. The opposite of just pushing through, even though you're knocked down, but just constantly going through the motions, especially on those days where you really don't want to and you don't find meaning. I talk about this and talk about the resistance. There's so much resistance, dude. Like, you guys all experience it. You guys know how it feels like, but you guys still push through, and the feeling, that's a personal feeling that nobody can take away from you. And I find so much satisfaction in that, because then I'm not living by other people's standards. I'm not living by like this hierarchy system. It's like, dude, I earned it. I earned today, and I did something that I thought was not possible. And that's like it's another cookie in my cookie jar that I could, you know, eat up, munch up when I'm really troubling. Like, I think about those times where I did conquer. And yeah, these are some of the tools that really helps me kind of push through.
Yes, it's like it's not every day that we are going to win, because we are humans. We make mistakes. We are not perfect. Everything has the time to start and to end, and it's okay to everything goes wrong, or if everything goes okay, it's okay. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we talked about procrastination, lack of discipline, talked about time management. How about social anxiety? Social relationship? I think this was Maria's question, and the possible solution was efficient time management, spend time with friends, with brother, be more mature, don't be too immature, and find the balance point, develop patience because time heals. I think we should keep it like this. Okay. And then Rax talked about panic attacks. How do we deal with panic attacks? I think this would go along with like dealing with pain, guilt, and shame. Because this is probably another... Actually, no. I think it deserves its own. So panic attacks and anxieties. Wow. This is a really hefty subject. I deal with a lot of like social anxiety almost daily with the influx of people. Imagine having like hundreds of people just staring at you. Doesn't make any sense. How do I deal with it?
I can say how I am trying to deal with it, I guess.
Go for it.
Well, it's different because what I've discovered is my panic attacks, dude, I can't talk. It comes from, I guess, just a lot of stress, basically. So it's all of the kind of because like how panic attacks works is your body thinks you're in flight or flight, like what is it called, like fight or flight mode or something like that.
Yeah.
And you just kind of drop and you almost kind of I don't know what is it called, like pass out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because I think it's all kind of the mental damage you do to yourself, because we are our own worst critic, basically. And if you're dealing with the work-life balance issues and you're not kind of I don't know, you're not okay with being like taking breaks, taking time for yourself and all the kind of stuff, you're gonna keep beating yourself for not being efficient enough, all this kind of stuff, and like months upon months of that results in like one instance where it's just too much for you. So I guess we kind of dealt with this question, or like my interpretation of that, like the like my version of the panic attacks. I think people get panic attacks for various of reasons, but I think we've tackled it through, I guess, the question of time management and work-life balance, and I'll keep working on this, of course, like personally as well, like because when I talk to the doctors, all the kind of stuff, what they do is like allocate time and being okay with like schedule free time, basically, just as you're scheduling good time, like a good time for like work and stuff like that. Also schedule time that you're taking off, even though you feel guilty, but do it anyways, because otherwise you're just gonna harm yourself. So like it's just like taking medicine, basically. You have to do the things you don't like. I mean, in terms of like being guilty of taking breaks, but you have to do it because if you don't, just as Tracy said, you cannot be healthy throughout your rest of the work life, or like your life in general, I guess.
Also, just to add up to that, because Rax said that it is because of stress. But sometimes the thing is that we can't reduce stress. So I think we need to be aware of when we are stressed, actually. because I recently attended a seminar, and then the therapist said that if you know your stress level, or the line where you get stressed, then you know how to manage it. Like you have the breathing techniques, so all the other stuff. So we can do that if we know when we are stressed. So yeah.
I think when you have panic attacks, you should you should talk about it with people around you, maybe your loved ones, your parents, so they know about it. That is like super important because most of us keep it um keep it private because it's not really something to discuss. Um I also have social anxiety, and the thing that helps me is like calling like people when I'm outside and stuff. But sometimes you can't. So it's really important to tell yourself when you actually need help. So you need to know when you should look for a therapist, maybe someone who knows about it more and someone who can like help you overcome it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think it's a daily thing. I don't know. I feel like in some way I can still control it. Maybe it's just the defense mechanism of me telling me, I don't need external help. But I guess this is what I'm here as well, like in this call today, is to learn more about how to manage your time correctly, learn to be okay with doing the stuff that taking breaks, all the kind of stuff, and allocating the time that you want to in the right way and all the kind of stuff. But yeah, talking to people about it, I guess, could help too. So thank you for all of your different perspectives, everyone. So
I think this group is a good place where people should feel free to say, "Hey, today I'm having a problem with something," and it should be a safe place where people can say, "Okay, yeah, I've been there," or "Hey, I understand," or "I'm sending you support." And they don't have to fix the problem, but they just say, "I felt that way too, and I believe you can make it through it." And I think that kind of helping each other is super key. I think that's really important.
Like a mastermind group.
Well, I was kind of talking about this Patreon group because it's
Yeah, but like, are you thinking of us like a mastermind where like we can come in, we can talk once in a while? Now that's what I'm thinking of this community call as.
yeah, I
I,
think that's it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful because at the end of the presentation, there's actually actionable steps we're going to be taking, and I think one of those is talking about our challenges and posting at a certain time. I believe it's let's see if I could pull it up right over here. Well, this is related to the study technique we're going to be talking about, but I'm more than willing, and we're all very compassionate individuals who are willing to help. So, and whatever, if you guys don't feel comfortable, I think it's fine for each other to kind of like build ties and be okay with sharing your challenges, because there are people going through the same thing, no matter how big of a magnitude your stress levels are and how alone you feel. There are people willing to help and who've already gone through that. So there's always help, and it's a reminder that we're headed towards a place that we were really scared of, but I'm really glad we're taking time to think about and reflect. So thank you guys again and always for being so transparent and opening up to me as I do to you, because I think that's really key of recognizing each other and knowing ourselves. And last but not least, we have lack of self-control and finding inner peace. Also, Focus at Work by Chaman. So, in terms of lack of self-control, what do you guys do if you guys feel like your life is not in order?
Hi again. I think I have an idea of what I think I would do. I think when you don't know what to do, either is for your studies or you just can't find a way, it's really important to stop. And this seems like really obvious, but sometimes we think we have to be running all the time. But if we stop and really think about it and really plan something, even if it's just the beginning of something, I think that can help. For example, when I have an exam in like 1 week, if I don't stop and don't plan things right, it doesn't matter if I am always working, because I'll not be working the right way. So in life, I think we should do the same, like plan things and stop and really think about it, like what is missing, what do I have to do, what etc., etc., I think.
Yeah, great point. Reflection upon yourself and plan for things you want to achieve to find order and balance. I think this would apply to both finding inner peace and even focusing at work. All right. Oh, this was a really deep exercise. I didn't know how deep we're gonna get into, but you guys are truly wonderful humans. Because you guys provide so much value into my personal life, and I'm learning so much, not only about myself, but about you guys. With that said, let's talk about some study techniques. So let's get started. I'm gonna try to make this quick because it's a lot of like numbers, but I felt like it was really necessary, especially if you're in like master's program or whatever like hierarchy you are on. It's still important to study like the different study techniques, because there are quite a lot, and I wasn't aware of any of this until like of course like self-experimentation and researching for this presentation for you guys. So let's get started. The Leitner system. So the Leitner system was created by Sebastian Leitner in 1972. This system inspired modern flashcard methods such as Quizlet and Duolingo. And here are the steps for the technique. So first you want to create some flashcards, questions on one side, answer on the other. Then create 3 Leitner boxes, boxes 1, 2, and 3. And then put all the flashcard in box 1 and try to retrieve the answer from your memory. If you recall the right answer, move it to the box 2, and if not, keep it at 1. Each box should have a set review frequency, and box 1 should be reviewed most frequently, and box 3 with the least revisions. And Duolingo's flashcard system was actually found to be effective from a 2019 research study. A large-scale natural experiment using data from Duolingo showed that learners who follow a reviewing schedule determined by algorithm memorize more efficiently than learners who follow alternative schedules determined by several heuristics. And the source I got this from was the NCBI Health Institute. So it's proven, and the Leitner system also incorporates spaced repetition. So let's talk more in depth about this technique. The reason why going over these study techniques is to kind of identify if we could make more changes for efficiency. And dude, it is so important to learn how to learn. Like if I was rereading, and by through researching this, I figured out dude, I am wasting so much of my time just reading stuff. I thought it was working, but it makes you double back and really consider the methods you're using. Let's talk about spaced repetition. Did it change? No. Spaced repetition is the process of studying over long periods of time instead of cramming. When our brain almost forgets something, it works harder to recall that information and tightening the bond. Spacing allows your mind to make connections between ideas and build upon knowledge to be recalled later. We have like 8 billion neurons communicating with each other, and it's really crucial to use this step. And let's talk about why spacing out is so crucial. So studies found that majority of students prepare for exams when there are 2 or 3 days left to intensively, quote unquote, cram. And researchers have found spaced repetition enhance acquisition of skills and learning and providing time for memories to consolidate itself. And this has been for adults, and as for, I believe, younger people, like in children, it enhances word and grammar learning, which is super powerful. An example of spaced repetition algorithm would be Anki, focused on long-term retrieval. And I'm sure most of you guys have heard of Anki. A lot of medical students use this, and it's a perfect example of what spaced repetition is. The Feynman technique. So Richard Feynman is a theoretical physicist and Nobel Prize winner. His way of learning was so particular it got its own name. Like, this man is absolutely insane, and he really is like a public speaker, really inspiring students to enjoy physics and science. So here are the steps. First, we have to study. This can be in terms of writing down everything you know about a certain concept. And then further, we're going to break it down into core components and seek to understand it as a whole. So for example, if I'm studying geometry, I would try to memorize the formula to finding the area of a rectangle and why it's important from the area of a square, like the difference between it. And understanding that relationship between the two really it reinforces the concept of the area, what an area is. Second, teach. Once you feel quite comfortable, we're going to teach it to someone else. And if there isn't someone that's available, teach it to an imaginary audience by explaining what you know as if you were talking to someone. The reason why a real person is better is for feedback, and this really pinpoints the holes in your knowledge base. Third, fill the gaps. What holes were uncovered from teaching? If you didn't understand the difference between the formula for a rectangle and square, we gotta go back to it and relearn the formulas and figure out what the difference is. Number 4, simplify. You greatly improved your understanding of the target skill. Now, this is the hardest part, but if you can cut away the jargon and explain it in a clearly, well-mannered way that even a kid could understand it, it shows that you could deeply understand the information and you have a grasp of how different elements join together. As Albert Einstein stated, if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. Like that. It's pretty mind-blowing, but it's pretty true. Like, a lot of people don't understand like the theory of relativity, but the equation E equals mc squared, that's repeated even in like 3rd grade. I can't really explain it myself, but it makes sense to like even kids of how like relativity works in terms of like, I guess, time. So that would be an example of like how simply Albert Einstein was able to make science into well-digestible information. And then 5, organize and repeat. Next up, we have the active recall method, also known as practice testing. Testing yourself over and over teaches you to look at testing from another angle. The premise of active recall is asking yourself questions and answering them to reinforce understanding of the material. This technique incorporates the similar steps from the previous methods we discussed. So here are the steps. It's really similar to the Leitner technique. First, ask yourself a question or a problem. Number 2, answer it. If you can't answer, revisit the material. Third, repeat. Now, I understand that tests and exams are very stressful since it's often used to measure our academic success. But this technique aims to assist your brain memorize, retain, and retrieve information more efficiently. From a meta-analysis, results have found that practice tests are more beneficial for learning than restudying and all other comparison conditions. Furthermore, students who conducted one practice exam performed 70% results right after. So if we look at the picture on the right, we could see that the blue are the students who studied the passages for 4 times for 5 minutes each. Now, the red one is they took one recall test and they were given a blank sheet of paper and asked to recall how much of the passage they could, recall. It was a 250-word essay, I believe, or passage. And then third but not least, this is the green one. And these guys, I think, viewed the material. Yeah, they viewed the passage one time and then performed a recall test 3 times. And as you can see, after 1 week, in terms of performance, the green active recall method for taking the recall practice 3 times really improved, and student retention could be definitely seen through these meta-analysis as well as research. Yeah, these are the main techniques that I've seen and the most effective. Other ones, there's like SQ3R methods. There's a bunch of other methods, but they are quite outdated and it's not as effective. But just wanted to do the research and let the word out there. Let's talk about some reflection. So, first off, which technique are you guys currently using? Which technique do you plan to incorporate during your study? What did you learn or reinforce from this presentation? This was a lot of material, and I hope some of it was digestible. Let's first start off with Serve. Serve?
As for the first question, I actually use Anki a lot. Like, I think 80% of my studying is on Anki. And I try to do active recall as well, and it's so complicated. But it works. It works. And for the rest, I don't know.
No worries. And another conclusion from this is that the best way to approach studying is incorporating and trying out the techniques and seeing which one works for you. There's a lot of similar overlap, so it really doesn't matter. There is no one technique that will, make you a study master. There's no such thing. It's really subjective, and what really matters is that you have the opportunity to try them out and see which one works for you, so you can put it in your tool shed.
True.
All right, Tracy?
I don't actually use any of these. So in graduate school, we don't take tests, so I'll never have another test. It's all writing and discussion. So you have to read and understand and make the material your own so that you can combine ideas, etc. And so yeah, I don't have to do any kind of active recall, but it's very, very deep critical thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is completely useless then. You are the mastermind, Tracy. You don't even need to active recall. What is that garbage? Lightner Simpson? Feynman technique? I don't need that. All I gotta do is write papers. All right. Well, thank you, Tracy. EJ?
Right now, I am using Quizlet and also the active recall. I don't remember the other technique, but I mean the exact name of the technique. But for the thing that I would probably use, I think the one where you tell somebody, because yeah, I think that would be really effective for me if I get to explain it to another person.
For sure.
And just and then to quickly just answer the last part. I learned definitely a lot from this presentation. So thank you so much for all the sharings, and Jean for the effort to put this up. So thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. Kriti? No worries if mic's not working. It's totally fine. Lara?
I forgot the name, but I used the first one, to teach someone imaginary. I forgot the name, but I used this technique. Yes. So I feel I can save more what I learn when I repeat things. I have a lot of cards, and I keep repeating them until I get it. And sometimes I have to make some seminar, I call my mom and my dad and I say, okay, please watch me. And they like give me some feedback saying, oh, that was good, that was not good, try again, and this is what I do. But the last thing, what did you learn? Thank you, Dean, because that was so refreshing. Like I feel so light. I don't know, like you research a lot. I can see that, but the reflection time that everyone could talk and say the problems and solutions, that was amazing. Like I feel like I am with my family. I can talk about anything, you know, inner peace, like something like that. So thank you.
Happy to hear that. Maria?
Hi. I use mostly Active Recall, and I do a lot of exercises. Even when I was on high school, in high school, I used, for example, for math, I did a lot of exercises. I actually I try not to read about things. I try to study doing questions, you know, because I feel like it's easier to understand and to really keep it for later. In the future, I would like to use Enki for more theoretical things, because I feel like some colleagues use it for everything, and I don't know if that's good in medicine, because there's some stuff that you don't get there by memorizing everything. Sometimes you have to like think about things in a different way. So I'll try to use Enki for more theoretical stuff. I really want to use the talking to another person and explaining my what I studied, because I really believe that that's really good. The problem is sometimes I don't have a colleague that can hear it, because we all have to study so much that sometimes it's difficult to have time to do that. But I really believe that's a really good way of learning. Sometimes I teach things to my cat, but he doesn't understand the thing, so not really effective in terms of feedback. So in for the presentation, I really want to thank you. It was really good. I'm sorry I couldn't attend the whole presentation, but I really learned a lot in these new techniques. Some of them I really didn't know. I know one more technique, but I really can't remember the name. It's one that it's used by online MedEd. I don't know if you know. It's like a platform for medical students, and I think it's like you read about something. I think it's similar to one of the techniques that you showed. You read, then you do exercise, then like I don't know, I don't know if it's 5 weeks, 4 weeks, I don't know. Um, uh, the platform reminds you to see it again, you know, and then I think you have a little exam about that. I don't know. I will search and I will send to you guys. Maybe it's useful for you too.
Thank you, Maria. Rex?
Yeah, my answer is quite similar to like I don't have a technique that I use right now, by the way. And my answer is quite similar to Tracy, because I don't have exams either, and what I do is discussions, deep essay, what is called reading, interpretation, incorporating your own thoughts, research, all that kind of stuff. So we don't really have exams, so I don't have to really recall like small details. But what technique is kind of useful is the Feynman technique, because it's you have to kind of in the seminars you have to explain quite complex things that you have read in very simple ways. So I think that's a good way of just making sure that you truly understand a complex topic. And what I learned, well, is that maybe I should, incorporate the Feynman technique, and that if I once in a lifetime get a bird, I should tell it to say auga, because it should, that really made my day. So yeah, I'll for sure think
Of
about
course,
it.
Jax, of course.
Yeah, and
Well,
thank you so much for this presentation. I want to thank you, Tidin.
yeah, dude.
It's an honor to have this community and be able to talk with you guys. It's really fun and eye opening, and really makes you, I don't know, feel that you're not alone in your kind of struggles, but you other people struggling with you towards their own goals. So that's inspiring, motivating, and yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's the whole goal. The premise of this is to emphasize what is truly important and bring you guys kind of together, and you're not alone, whatever journey you take. And again, the honor is mine. Really grateful to have met you guys and being able to share this. It's again, like I try to really reiterate that knowledge isn't power, but it's the utility of knowledge that is truly power. Next up, we have Reams.
Yes. I also don't really have an exercise or something I use. I actually need to exercise more. So I need to like do more in my free time to make sure I know everything. And that's something I really struggle with because I always think that I'm done, very quickly. I don't really do everything to make sure that I know everything. And that's something I really wanted to change. So I was like listening really good to the presentation and the tips you were giving.
Dat
And
is niet aardig.
I'm sorry, that was Siri. The thing I'm gonna use, I think, is to actually tell someone or something about the thing I learned and to try to explain it so I know that I know everything. Yeah, so I'm gonna use that. So I'm really grateful for everything you guys were sharing. I will take it with me with my studies, and I hope everyone is like benefiting from it.
Thank you, Reams. Chairman?
I'm no longer schooling, so it's but I think one study technique that I really like using, like even now, sometimes when I do like volunteering work whereby I have to like explain certain concepts or like moral values to people sometimes. I think I really prefer the Feynman technique because that was a technique that I used in the past when I was trying to explain to myself like theories or like especially dealing with history because I think it's really helpful back then and even now. Maybe explaining to 6-year-olds might be a little difficult. I think I have to really break down everything, but I think in general having an imaginary audience and trying to uh, like address to your audience whatever that you know and try to teach them in a way, I think that is really very helpful because it helps you to um, really like sort out your ideas and everything in a very orderly manner. And yeah, I think that is one technique that I really enjoy using. Um, yeah, I think that's all. But I'm very thankful like everyone else. I'm very thankful for this like sort of like a presentation and community call. Actually, if I didn't know that some of you guys, including Jean, actually has struggles with like the social anxiety of like maybe talking to people, I actually couldn't really sense at all because you guys are very vocal, and I think if it really takes a lot of effort for you guys to express yourself, I think you guys have really done like a super good job, and I think really takes a lot of courage to actually overcome this. And I'm also very thankful for everybody who is here to actually be very honest with our own problems and trying to solve our own problems while also trying to think of solutions for other people. So I think it's a very good morning for me. Like I woke up at 4 a.m., but now it's about 6. But I think it has given me a lot of inner peace this morning. To yeah, I think it's a very good start for my day. So thank you everyone. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, good morning. And then Gritty?
Just wanted.
Oh, go ahead, Tracy.
Sorry. I didn't get to the last question. I didn't realize we were going to do all three, but I just want to say thank you, Jen. You put enormous amount of work into this, and it's extremely helpful. And thank you to everyone else who came and shared.
No worries. Gritty.
Hey Jen, hey everyone. I'm really sorry that I joined really late. I was held up with a family dinner. But now that I'm here, I'd like to answer these questions. So currently, I recently graduated, and now since I'm preparing for civil services, these are the techniques that I can't really use because I have to memorize a lot of things, more like theories. So what I do is I read and reread and reread like 3 or 4 times through a book. So that's kind of necessary. That's something I cannot skip. So for now, I don't use any of these techniques. But yeah, sometimes when there are theories or some concepts that I cannot understand, then something that I do is I explain it to myself as if I'm the teacher. I watch some video and then I go and explain it to myself. So I don't know if that counts as fame and technique, even if I explain it to myself. But yeah, that's what I do. And since I don't have tests anymore, and if I want to test myself, like whatever I've studied, if I've retained anything of that, is what I do. I give my book to my sister, and then she'll skip through the pages, choose anyone at random, and ask me the minutest of the details, and then I'll either be stuck or I'll answer that. And that's how I know that what are the points I need to focus on more, or what are the concepts I need to understand more. And that's how I prepare. And thank you, Jen, for arranging this community call, and everyone for joining and sharing everything. I've been listening to everyone for the past quite some time, and I feel like this is something really valuable and something really comforting to most of us. Thank you, Jen, for this presentation. It was quite an insight into the tips and techniques that I think I can use.
Thank you, Gritty. And just got a few more. Now let's talk about some actionable steps we could make. So as for it seems like a lot of people don't actually use these, but the 5-minute technique, just repeating the concept, it could really benefit. So a step that I could kind of state is report on Discord or Patreon what method you plan to use over the next week, and after a week has passed, evaluate your experience both mentally and emotionally. So an example of this in action would be every Friday at 2 p.m. I'll list down which technique I used and document my experience. And from the overall presentation, what was really important was talking about our goals as well as our challenges. It was a really healing, and I truly learned a lot. So once again, thank you, and make sure you guys share your ideas or examples in daily life. You seem uncomfortable or hesitant, and just post it. We've opened up some really hefty topics: social anxiety, addiction, even balance of social and work life that we experience in our everyday life. Again, if you want it reviewed, I'm a research for you, and I will get back to you as soon as possible after the 12 hours. And I like to think of us as one family of immigrants, each pursuing the best version of ourselves. And that's why today's theme was the immigrants, because there's all different types of immigrants, right? We talked about the runners, the ambitious, and the majority. But I want to challenge you guys to fear becoming the majority and become like a runner or the ambitious. The runner, as in we're really afraid to return to the mouth of the shark. The ambitious, to pursue something we thought was impossible, but to constantly strive towards it. And I want to encourage each other and celebrate the success of one another. It's really hard to do this in practice, but force yourself to see beauty in others' work and use it as inspiration. This has been helping me a lot with resentment, animosity, jealousy, all these negative emotions that I go on and experience in a daily life. But if you truly look at humans as a collective and celebrate others' success, then it makes you more happy, and it could be used as fuel for inspiration. And with that said, thank you guys so much for your time. And once again, thank you guys so much. I cannot be grateful for enough. And yeah, that's all.
Thanks,
Thank
Jade.
you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Have a good
everyone.
day.
Thank
All right.
you. Bye.
Have a wonderful day, everyone. Peace.
Bye bye.
Bye.